Hi, it's Sumazana here. In this video, I'm going to show you how to make decisions you will never regret. Sometimes you make a decision and a day later or sometime later you regret. For example, you had an ice cream and the next morning you regret it, that you wished you never had that ice cream for health issues, for health-related issues. Or perhaps you know that you need to quit your job and start a business now, but you never get the courage, never take the first step. After this video, you know exactly what you need to do and never regret ever again. Oftentimes when we make decisions, here as human beings, we're driven by two factors. Number one, pleasure. Number two, pain. We tend to do things that give us pleasure and avoid those things that give us pain. That's natural. That's in our DNA. Unfortunately, that's how many people make decisions totally based on their present pleasure or pain. If it gives them pleasure in the present, for example, having that ice cream, they will do it. And if it gives them pain in the present, for example, quit their job and start their business, if that gives them pain in the present, they will never do it. I'm going to share with you a secret formula that once you implement in your decision making, you will take bold actions and you will never regret your decisions ever again. Introducing the factor of time is compare your current pain or pleasure to your future pain and pleasure to make that decision. For example, if doing something gives you pleasure in the present, and it also gives you pleasure in the future, then obviously you will make the decision to do the thing. On the other hand, if something that gives you pain in the present, it also gives you pain in the future, then by no means never do that action. Here's what gets tricky. It's something that gives you pleasure in the present, but pain down the road. Or something that gives you pain in the present, but pleasure in the future. How do you make decisions? What you need to do is to weigh the pain and pleasure of the present and compare it to the future pain and pleasure. And based on the intensity of the pain or pleasure, that's how you make decisions. Let's take the ice cream, for example. If you have an ice cream right now, it's going to give you pleasure. However, the next morning, that's your future. What's you going to feel? There's going to be pain. Now you need to compare that future pain with the present pleasure and see which one is more intense. And based on that, and follow whatever gives you the most intensity, based on the intensity. But here's the tricky part. The future pain or pleasure, when we look from the standpoint of now, is going to diminish and decrease in intensity. It's not a fair comparison if we just, do it the regular way. Same is true, it's built in our perception. If you look at a mountain from a distance, and that mountain will appear so small, and you will not be able to see details of that mountain, of the trees, the rocks, you will not be able to define and tell the difference. Similarly, if you look into the distance a skyscraper, and it appears so tiny, even though it's an optical illusion, it's very tall. It's a skyscraper. And from the distance, you cannot see the details, the vivid details of the thing. Same is true when we look at the future emotions. You look at the future, your state of being, whether pleasure or pain, it's going to be vague. It's going to diminish in size and intensity. So when you do the comparison of your present pain or pleasure with the future pain or pleasure, you need to dial up, you need to amplify that future pain or pleasure in order to make a fair comparison. For example, you take the ice cream now, you get pleasure. The next morning, you get pain. And that pain, you need to intensify that pain so that it's on the same scale with the pleasure. If that pain is more, then you will not eat the ice cream. If that pain is less than the current pleasure, however, you can go ahead and have the ice cream because you already feel into the future pain, and that's not as intense as your current pleasure. And that's obvious. To make a decision you will never regret. So the key is to amplify that future pain or pleasure. If you quit your job now and start a business, you may have financial difficulties for months or years. So you're gonna have pain, emotional pain. However, in the future time point, maybe a year from now, 5 years, 10 years, you achieve that financial freedom. How are you gonna feel? What you need to do is leave that future reality in your mind right now and feel into that feeling of pleasure and experience the intensity of that pleasure. Imagine your life in that future in vivid details and bring all your physical senses, your seeing, hearing, touch, taste, feelings. What are you going to be doing? How are you going to be spending time with your family and friends? Where are you going to travel to? What type of house you'll be living in? And what type of cars you'll be driving? So you need to bring that future pain or pleasure into the present by living that future in your imagination. Play it out in your imagination. That's how you amplify that future pain or pleasure to the scale of your current. And then if in your mind you find out that future pleasure of having that financial freedom outweighs the current present pain of quitting your job, starting your business, hustling, going through mistakes, failures, then you know you need to take the bold action of quitting your job and start your business. And you will never regret down the road because you already compared the future pleasure and the current pain, and the future pleasure outweighed the current pain. So that's the key to making decisions you will never regret, is to compare the current pain and pleasure with the future pain and pleasure. And when you feel the future pain or pleasure, you need to amplify that signal in order to get to the same scale with your current. Then based on that, when you make a decision, you will make powerful decisions. And when other people look at you, they think you are a magical person. You make powerful decisions, you take bold actions. But in your mind, you know the formula of how to make decisions. I hope you love this mini training. Click on like this video and share with your friends or family. Share it to someone who might benefit from this training. And follow my channel for more inspirations. I will see you in the next one.